I think some people would argue it would make it a worse place. However, both are really, really important. Obviously, casework is at the heart of helping people, but what goes on in Parliament is very important, but it's not just listening to debates. It's about holding ministers to account and getting them on the spot to give you the answers you need. And you can skewer them in a number of ways. And that's my mission, and that's what I do.
No, I think it's a false choice. MPs can spend more time in the chamber and they can do more casework if they wish. I mean, I'm not aware that there's a particular problem with MPs not doing enough casework. I like the chamber, but it certainly never got in the way of doing casework.
Well, I think we probably do spend too much time on casework that's better done by people at other levels of government. I think MPs have collected the work of other people like local councillors over the years in a way that is very unhelpful when it comes to the devolution of power, that people come to see you who really should have gone to see their councillor, and they tend to think that MPs are running the local area when in fact it's the council. So I think that is right, that in a properly run country power would lie further down and councillors would get that work. Whether listening to debates is the right thing to do instead, I kind of doubt. I think people should be spending more time thinking about their job as legislators and thinking about what the law should be and thinking about what the government should be doing. And whether the right way to do that is sitting in the chamber listening to other people, or whether it's sitting in your office thinking about it, it's a different question. But certainly I think we need more thought.
I think there's a balance to be struck. 50 years ago, I think they spent too much time listening to debates and not enough time attending to the affairs of their constituents. Now, arguably, it's gone the other way. We spend, some members anyway, spend far too much time in and around the constituency and not enough time holding the executive to account, which is why we're really here. So yes, I think there needs to be some slight adjustment back in favour of Parliament.
It's a question of balance, because clearly an MP who keeps in touch with his constituents keeps in touch with the real world, and this place can be quite an isolated location and you become immune to the affairs of what's going on outside. So I think there has to be a balance. You need to keep in touch with your constituents through casework, advice bureau, going to events and so on, but equally this is where Parliament sits. And therefore you need to be here as well. And I'm pleased to say that my voting attendance record throughout the 12 years I've been an MP has been the highest of any opposition MP in Britain, so I have got the balance.
That's a very tricky question, because on the one hand we do a lot of work which local councillors do and should be doing, but at the same time we need to be aware where the system goes wrong. So I think if we work better with our local councillors on the ground, then we could probably spend more time in the chamber and debate.
Casework is actually really important for debates in Parliament, and the reason's this. Dealing with people at your advice surgeries from all different walks of life, all backgrounds, with all manner of different issues and problems that they're trying to resolve, gives a real insight into the human face of the issues that we discuss in debates and when we're discussing new laws in Parliament. So I think it is actually a really important part of an MP's job. I would, of course, prefer it if government agencies and other bodies were perhaps a little bit less rubbish at dealing with constituents in the first place, because it's quite common for somebody to come to you who's written a perfectly articulate letter complaining about something to a government agency that's just been ignored, and as soon as you write with a House of Commons letterhead, then suddenly something gets done. So I do think there's some time that could be saved if various agencies just got a little bit more on the ball. But in general, I do think casework is very important, as is listening to debates in Parliament, and one of the challenges for MPs is just managing to juggle the two and balance the time the best way possible.
I'm not sure. What I do know is that MPs spend a great deal of time doing things that aren't actually in the interests of our democracy or in the interests of their constituents. MPs are very busy, but often they're busy doing things that interest them rather than the voters. So I think we need reform to make sure that MPs are better at doing their job. At the moment, let's face it, they're monumentally useless at doing the job of holding those with real power to account. If MPs answered outward to ordinary voters rather than just inward to other MPs, then I think they would start spending their time more productively.